Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Vicki Boyer. I am from Orange County representing myself. I want you to know I'm a North Carolina native and I can trace my ancestors here back to the 1730s. I'm going to tell you that this is one of those days that will live in infamy in North Carolina history. Today, North Carolina Republicans show their true face. They have lost all sense of honor. They have lost their Christian values. They've become completely absorbed into the American Fascist Party. Their oath of office, sworn to with their hand on a Bible, means nothing to them. It was only a means to an end. Their actions today prove that their plans for North Carolina are so unpopular that they have to cheat to win. They don't want to govern, they want to rule. I hope they will remember that old adage that cheaters never prosper. The best sign I saw Saturday at a No Kings rally was this: Yo Papa didn't run moonshine through North Carolina hollers just so you could be a bootlicker.
Shame on this General Assembly, shame on North Carolina for silencing the will of the people of northeastern North Carolina, a true swing district that reflects the diversity value of the state. For 91 years after 1901, no black citizen represented North Carolina. I broke that banner. I was that person who was elected in 1992. I represented teachers. I represented farmers, those of the diverse area. In 2024, voters in this district chose a Republican president and a Democrat black representative. That, although I did not vote for that president, that is democracy. What you're doing today means that you are against democracy. But this redistricting strips, indeed, the majority black counties from the 1st Congressional District and bury them in a heavily Republican area. That is an act of gerrymandering. You also remove one of the 3 black representatives. Shame on you for saying you didn't consider him.
Thank you.
Do you not know that Donald Davis was black? Well, I'm here to inform you.
Like many of you, I'm from a rural country town where most people vote Republican because that's how my father, my papa, and my granddaddy and generations of my family voted. The GOP is a party of people who allow the social movements of their day to push them to do great things. I know what you're feeling in these confusing times. I know you're a Republican politician because you too want to do great things, and you're confused by the men and women around you who aren't living up to the principles of the party that you were raised in. So I've come here today to say, leave your church and your lying, abusive pastor. Burn your hoods instead of your crosses. Open your closet doors instead of hiding your truth. And I promise you that when you do, what you'll find is a huge, gigantic family that loves you just the way you are. And you don't need to stay on your knees worshiping the men who bully, belittle, harass, and rape you with their golden phalluses of lies and hatred. I know that deep down inside of you, you know that these maps are racist, immoral, and wrong. Vote no. State budget. In doing so, you will do something great,
Mr. Wright, your time has expired
by finding your freedom in your truth.
I asked Representative Pricey for the amount of taxpayer money spent on redistricting litigation. $22,512,000 redistricting litigation since GOP took over in 2011. It's ironic to me that the Party for States' Rights is abdicating their own power to Trump to give a convicted felon with an incredibly dangerous and unpopular agenda your power. And you Republicans are willing to kneel to fascism for Berger's desperation not to be primaried. It's a misdirected claim that this is not race targeted when you're targeting the district that's known as the Black Belt. This is the Southern agenda. You will be on the wrong side of history. Today is an amazing opportunity for a Republican who has the nerve to be a hero by standing up for equal representation and the rights of black voters. I demand Medicaid funding and a moral budget, not racist maps.
I am Tamika Walker Kelly, an elementary music teacher from Cumberland County and president of NCAE. It has been 113 days since the General Assembly has missed its deadline to pass the state budget. 100 days of missed opportunities for students across the state. 100 days of educators trying to function without the raises that they deserve, and 100 days of uncertainty for schools trying to plan. But instead, you are busy drawing congressional maps once again. And so while teachers are wondering if they can stay in the classroom, you are rigging the system. And instead of students who are thinking of them, who are sitting in overcrowded classrooms, you are breaking the rule of law to benefit the powerful few. Education, public education, is the foundation of our democracy and this economy, and yet it is playing second fiddle to people's political ambition, and that should not be so.
Greg Flynn, citizen, voter. The map hasn't changed since yesterday, so my comments will be equally familiar. This president has circulated a video of himself dropping excrement on American people. This is the God you worship, the dictator you appeal to, you appease, the king you pander to, while thousands of North Carolina citizens are on track to lose health insurance, while civil rights guaranteed by the Constitution are now daily trampled on. No one is safe from his retributions, not even you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, a republic if you can keep it, not to a felonious monarch in a gilded house on Pennsylvania Avenue. Are you monarchists? Are you not Republicans? Absolute power is corroding the republic. Just because you can legally eat everything at a buffet doesn't mean it's a good idea.
This action by the legislator is a shameless and deliberate attack on democracy. First, let's be crystal clear about the racist nature of this redraw. You're not just shuffling lines. You're dismantling a historic Black opportunity district. The claim of no racial data used is a legal shield to mask a real-world tragedy. You are effectively silencing the voices of Black North Carolinians and erasing their history of representation. This isn't just partisan. This is a moral regression. The sheer arrogance in this move is just as appalling when we all know that between 84 and 87% of all North Carolinians believe partisan gerrymandering is wrong. In a moment when our families are struggling with real issues, you are wasting taxpayer time to pick your own voters. This map is a stain on our state. You do not have the right to ignore the voices of your constituents. Shame.
Pat Butler, I'm here for myself. And as a mother and grandmother, I taught my children not to be a bully. But if they encountered one, to not bow down, but to stand up for what they knew was morally and ethically right. And I imagine that many of you did the same thing with your children. So I'm asking you now, how do you explain to your children and rationalize that you're bending the knee to the dictator? How do you do that?
Apparently you all have not realized you work for us. You do not work for yourselves. You do not work for Trump. You work for we, the people. I'm also a proud participant in the No Kings Day, where we stood 7 million proud to say, you represent us. These maps do not represent the state of North Carolina. These maps do not represent your constituents. We've heard that you are wasting taxpayer money. We've heard there's 10,997 public comments and us saying we want fair maps. These are not fair maps.
Thank you, Ms. O'Malley.
My name is Gerald Givens, Jr. I proudly served this nation for 2 decades in the United States Air Force. I defended freedom, not for a party, but for the principle that every American should have their voice equally counted. I've heard it said that race wasn't used in drawing this map, but I've seen the effects. Long-standing Black communities in places like northeastern North Carolina, Greensboro, and Charlotte have been split apart or packed so tightly together that their voices can't shape outcomes beyond their own district. You don't need to use racial data to see racial impact. When a district that has elected a Black representative for decades is redrawn so those voters can no longer elect their candidate of choice, that's not balance, That's silence. I didn't fight for selective freedom. I fought for every North Carolinian to have their voice heard. Do what's right. Defend the people's voice like I defended yours.
Article 1, Section 10 of the North Carolina Constitution, known simply as the Free Elections Clause, states that all elections shall be free. Merriam-Webster's defined free as not determined by anything beyond its nature or being, choosing or capable of choosing for itself. In violation of the concept of free elections, partisan gerrymandering is the form of vote dilution, the devaluing of one citizen's vote as compared to others. That imposes a constraint on a voter's will. A rigged election is not a free election, nor is an election with a voter's voice is worthless because the election's results have been preordained by whoever wields political power. The rights that prohibit partisan gerrymandering are the bedrock of our sacred system of democratic government. And this is a shameful manipulation of our principles of democracy and the rule of law. And Mr. Blackwell, you were 20 years old, just 4 years younger than the late great John Lewis when he had his head bashed in to protect voting rights. I know on which side of history I would like to stand.
Got my Bible here today, don't be nervous. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's that simple. It's that simple. I've heard a lot of excuses for these maps. Gavin Newsom, California. When we get down to it, folks, is this what you would have your neighbor do unto you? Is this what biblical leadership looks like? These maps are the wet dream of soft men who won't even look up from their phones to face their voters. These are men who lust for a world where the powerful do what they can and the rest of us suffer what we must. Jesus wept.
My name is Eric Willoughby. I'm a sophomore at UNC Charlotte, and I just want to highlight what this kangaroo court actually is. This is a sham. This is a blatant, racist attempt to limit the power of minority voters. This is pathetic, it is pitiful, and it is shameful. That is what this is. And you Republicans, you want us to be afraid because voters who are fearful do not show up. They do not come and fight you on everything. But let me tell you, hear us, see us. We are not afraid of you. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice, as Dr. King said. And we will win in the end. Shame on you. Shame!
I'm Congresswoman Alma Adams. I'm a former member of this body, and I'm deeply ashamed of this body for putting the people of North Carolina last. Speaker Hall made it very clear that this attempt to further gerrymander our state is being done at the request of President Trump, not because it's in the best interest of North Carolina citizens. You focused on stealing another congressional seat after you've already stolen 3. And rigging our democracy, then addressing our states, not addressing our states' pressing issues. And we're tired of congressional districts being shuffled every election because you'd rather pick your voters than have them pick you. We're tired of being disenfranchised, of being embarrassed because gerrymandering is more important to you. So you're not just targeting a Democratic member, that's obvious, and he is black, you must know that. You're trying to dismantle the district with the largest record of black congressional leadership in North Carolina history. And that's just not right. Your constituents are speaking to you today. I certainly hope you listen. I spent 20 years here. I know you. You should know your citizens, and you need to respect our wishes.
I'm no organization, just a very concerned American citizen. What's happening here right now, because Pino, president in name only, asked you, his radical right minions, to steal more seats is an abomination. Chair Jones, your rhetoric and propaganda is astonishing. This started in Texas with Abbott, and California responded using your racist and right-wing tactics, and you don't like it. It's an abomination of our Constitution and what we the people want. Tell yourselves there's no racial component to this redistricting, gerrymandering, if it helps you sleep at night. This shouldn't even be happening at all, and this legislator isn't even doing its job. Where's our budget, guys? Y'all have your priorities mixed up, and your hunger for maintaining power and control is sickening. It doesn't end here. We, the people, will continue to fight for justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and fair maps. We, the people's voice, will not be stifled, and we will persist. The world is watching, and your place in history will not be favorable.